Hey, good evening. How are we? The Hair Show family, great. I'm just watching behind the scenes here. Jordanna and Georgia having a right old jig to that tune, and I've just seen what Sean just put there. My partner is dancing like Patrick from SpongeBob to the countdown tune. Yeah, that really gets in your head. So let's do a few hellos to many of our family. So I'm just going to scroll back and say hello to many of you. So who we got here? Well, we have Kelly. Hi, Kelly. How you doing? We've got Lee. Welcome, Lee. We love Lee. Loving some of the comments. You're giving us some fits of giggles behind the scenes there, Lee. Hiya, Mohammed. Our friends at Pivot Point. Good to see you there. Nicola, hiya. We've got Sarah there. Who else have we got? We've got Simon. Hair Socials. Hiya, Simon. Kim, Sean, many more of you, and I'm going to keep flagging you all up as we go through the show tonight. So remember, first up, this is your show, the Hairdressers show that really talks about so many different things that's happening to us all in the hair industry. So remember, like it, love it, and share it across Facebook. I know many of you doing that tonight. It really helps to get people to see what's going on. Facebook loves that too. We've got Tim Scott right there tonight. Nice to see you then, Tim. Really excited about the show. So what have we got coming up tonight? Well, let's have a quick look. What's coming up tonight on the Hair Show? Well, shortly I'm going to be bringing up the girls. Yep, they're sitting there waiting. And as always, we're going to kick off with the World Hair News with Jordanna Cabela. Yes, she is back. We missed Jordanna, even though Carolina done amazing last week. It was great to have her. Here we have Hairdressers Hairstyles. What's this all about? Well, we're going to be talking about the mullet, and do people really have these looks that us hairdressers love doing and see and learn from? Do you know what your clients really want? Yeah, expectations, services, things have changed in this COVID world, so we're going to be going a little bit into that as we head in to the show. We are also going to be talking hairdressing horror stories, and this one is proper grim from Georgia tonight. I tell you, it is chilling, really grim, so we might have to pick up the mood after that particular one. Rethink, reskill, reboot. Yeah, there was Riki, the Chancellor, came out with this talk of the creatives, the arts, how to find new work. It's quite a hard-hitting one, and we're going to be talking about that. Could we be looking at more people coming in and retraining them into our industry? That's what's coming up in tonight's show. Really excited, and I'm really excited to bring the girls back into the show. So welcome up, lots of love hearts as I bring on Georgia Bell, Jordanna Cabela. Welcome, ladies. How are we?
Hey. So good to be back.
It's good. We missed you, Jordanna. I know, so many people. But to be fair, it was, Carolina done well. But great. How's things with you, Jordanna? All right?
Yeah, really good. It's good to know that I've been missed, because I've been missing you guys as well. And we've got a really good bit of gossip and news stories for you coming up, and some really good topics to cover this evening. So
yeah.
Where have you been all my life, Blondie?
I'll come into you for my roots soon, George, because they are getting pretty bad. I didn't know my hair could grow that quickly, but
I'm ready.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I love the blonde look on you, Jordanna. Do you all agree? I know we've said about this a couple of weeks back. Do you like Jordanna's hair? But as it's got blonder, it does look great. So lots of love hearts if you like Jordanna with the blonde hair. You got a different background as well there tonight, George.
I need you for my Hinge profile, Dom.
Hey, anything can happen, right? And come on then, daily mullet check. That's going to be very current to tonight's show. Let's have a look. How's it coming on round the back there?
Doing back. My boyo Luke put me some extensions in, because I am not prepared to wait any longer for a trailer trash haircut. So wait it till we make it, darling.
We are going to be talking mullets shortly as well, George. You know, it's there's going to be some fun to be had there. So look, we were just saying, weren't we, Jordanna, at the start? Yeah, it's great to see so many of our family. We feel like a family now with this show, don't we?
Yeah, we do. It's my Monday night favourite part of the week, really.
Yeah, Eileen, she's just said, Georgia, you're looking mint. Honestly, yeah, you both are looking mint, to be fair. Hi, girls, you both look amazing. Come on, let's have a bit of love for me.
I missed it, Dom.
You look amazing.
do.
Yeah, the bald
Your
head
hair's
looks.
never looked thicker, darling.
Yeah, I tell you. Okay, Alex, how you doing now, Alex? So look, lots of people coming in. We're going to go through your comments. If there's any questions that you want to put to the girls, if you got anything that you particularly want to talk about around our topics, then throw it in the comments, and I'm going to be putting some questions to you all. But as always, we're going to kick off tonight. We didn't have it last week. It's good to have it back this week. So let's go into the World Hair News with Jordanna Cabela.
Well, welcome back to the world of hair news. So, news topic number 1, the British Hairdressing Awards goes virtual. Much to our disappointment, as announced earlier last week, for the first time in 37-year history, the event will be held online on Monday the 30th of November. Now, a statement from Jane Lewis Orr reads that we know that together we shall make this event one to remember for all the right reasons, and we look forward to a global and unlimited audience joining us to celebrate the very best of British hairdressing. So it's going to be sad, but I mean, at least it's better than cancelling the event altogether. News topic number 2, stem cell research for hair. A team of researchers from Helsinki have discovered a mechanism that prevents hair loss. Hair follicle stem cells, which are essential for hair to grow, can prolong their lifespan by switching their metabolic state in response to a low oxygen concentration in the tissue. And news topic number 3, the Sustainable Salons Company. Now, we discussed this a couple of weeks back, and it's called Green Salon Collected, and I wanted to make sure that we could share this with you guys because they offer the service of recycling almost all of waste products in salon. There is a fee to pay, but you can recycle everything from hair clippings to used foil, used tubes, and much more, PPE as well. So that's Green Salon Collective. And news topic number 4, Boris Johnson, our very, very good friend, has announced his 3-tier system for dealing with the rising cases of coronavirus. Unfortunately for us, that doesn't mean that we have to close. However, there will be lockdown measures in Liverpool, which means there will be bars closing. But for the hair and beauty industry, it's still looking positive that we can stay open. And that's all for me today.
Whoa, let's kick off with, I mean, that's a big statement, wasn't it, that the NHBF came out with, actually, George, when we saw that they were saying that hair salons, we don't have to close at the moment. There's been a lot of different circulating stories over the last day or two.
Yeah, there's been a lot of speculation, and you know what, speculation is not something that I like to listen to. There's always papers jumping on, media jumping on, saying, you know, by 6 p.m. tonight there's going to be another lockdown. You know, the truth of the matter is, actually, the economy can't really take another lockdown. So although there's a lot of, you know, scary things happening right now, numbers are rising, we've got to look at ourselves as a country, and we've got to try and do the best for everyone. And there's one thing in my life that I don't like, it's speculation. I would always rather be told in black and white, this is what's happening, you're locking down, I'll deal with it. But I do not listen to the Sun, the Daily Mail, the Telegraph, or whatever, because it's a load of shite.
What about you, Jordanna? What's your thoughts on it? Yeah.
To be honest, I'm just trying not to tune in too much. There's an Instagram account called Simply Politics, I believe, and they do a really good daily breakdown, and there's just a post, and it means you don't have to watch too much of the news. So let's just keep our heads up and do what we can and try and enforce some of the PPE rules as much as possible. That's all we can do, right?
Yeah, it is.
Smile through it,
has
drink
he actually
through it,
spoken tonight? Has Boris come out and done one of his talks? Maybe you guys can just, update us on anything if there's any changes to what we've heard about.
I think there's only changes to Liverpool. I don't think he's done anything else, but you might shut down pubs and restaurants, but the thing is, you've got a government scheme that's then just done eat out to help out, which has actually enforced 3 times more people to go and eat out, and then all of a sudden 2 weeks later they're shutting everything down. So I don't really get what's happening. I don't think anyone gets what's happening. So I think it's quite easy to speculate and to say this is what's happening, this is what's happening. Nobody really knows, do they?
Yeah, so Colette's just put here, Jordanna, we are critical for the economy, own our industry and make sure we all follow the rules. Yeah, what's this one from Lee? Spitting Image have more sense of portraying it. Have you seen Spitting Image yet, George?
I haven't watched it yet,
Yeah.
no,
Jordanna?
I had time, but...
Have you seen it, Jordanna, Spitting Image?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's equality, honestly. If there was ever a time for it now, this is the time. So, yeah, just picking up on the comments. As I say, we're always at 20 seconds delay, so I may be a bit slower coming to your comments. Bear with me. Nicholas put, we are one of the safest environments to be in. Yeah, I think that's pretty fair to say. We're all in it. Kim, what's she put here? It's all about tiers, still complicated. Yeah, what is these tiers, Jordanna?
So it's a way of measuring our risk. So they'll take it from city to city and measure the cases versus the death rate. And then they'll categorise us in this red, amber, green kind of category. And then that category will denounce exactly what kind of measures that we have to face. So at the moment, we're not at the highest level risk, but we are quite close to being there. But Liverpool is. So, for example, their cafes and restaurants will shut down, but they haven't shut the beauty places down in Liverpool just yet. So hopefully, if we continue to do what we're doing and do it to our best ability, then we won't be shut down. But I mean, he does keep threatening, like Christmas will be good if you all behave, doesn't he? So let's just hope that this vaccine comes out, because that's our only option, really.
You pulled a face there, George.
Yeah, because I just find it so kind of unbelievable what's happening. I find that the way that the rules change, quite unbelievable. You know, I know of a few people that died in lockdown. They didn't die of COVID, but on the death certificate it says COVID. When you go for a test, it's only valid for 24 hours, but if it says COVID, it is COVID, but not necessarily it is COVID, because it's the same enzyme that you get from a cold when you cough that's tested that says that you're positive. I just find it all a little bit strange.
There's a lot of fatigue with it now, all in general, but it's obviously because rates are climbing. That's why we're bringing it up again. Lee's just asked, has it affected you, Georgia?
No. Do you know? I'll be honest. The business is the best it's ever been, but it's affected me mentally.
Yeah.
Like the whole like
Everybody.
you're doing this and then you're doing that, and then you might be going back in lockdown. You might not be doing this, and can you do this? Can you do that? The whole uncertainty of everything has definitely affected me mentally. I'm very sort of, you know, disheartened by it all. I'm disheartened that politicians can go out till past 10. They can hunt in packs of 85, go fox hunting, but we can't even mix with our family more than 6 people. I find it's all very strange, and it's all very there's no set rules, and I don't like that. I think if you're going to put a load of rules in place, it needs to be for everyone and not just for the people that you're speaking to.
Yeah, I want to move it on in a second. Lee's just put here, I meant tier systems. Are you close to it, George?
Oh yeah, I'm close to it. Basically, when all the cases started happening in my town, they moved it all to Sheffield. So now Sheffield's in danger, Rotherham isn't. But like I said, everything's that confusing. Everything's that strange that, you know, I don't really know what's happening, but I think everyone's at risk.
Yeah, and just before I do move it on into our first topic tonight, Jordanna, I've just got to ask you, how is London? Really, London's taken a massive hit on this.
Huge. Such a shame. Quite a few businesses have closed this week on my high street. But we did have a good Saturday, and we're keeping our heads held high. I probably have only got about 40% bookings next week. So it's just a matter of kind of taking it day by day at the moment and finding something to do with any spare time.
Yeah. And I asked the question in the hairdressing community. I know we're going live into the community group tonight, but how's it all going for you? Is things going well? I'd love to know. Yeah, are things good? Yes or no? Let us know in the comments below. So we're going to go into our first topic tonight, and being inspired, as I say, we talk about it every week, the mullet. Yeah, we've seen lots of mullets being created. The haircut seems to be making a little bit of an exciting emergence again. But our topic really is, are we just hairdressers wearing hairdressers' hair with these mullets? Do clients want it? So let's have a little video here just to give us a little bit of a smile to the mullet.
mullets.
When you feel like an outsider every other day, here you are part of the family.
Today,
This is our day. This is our day.
this is our day. This is for you
Brothers.
and me. Brothers, mullets unite!
Yeah. Are you entering in any contest today at the Mullet Fest?
Yeah, mate, I'm in everyday mullet because it's on my head every day.
Hell yeah. And are those homemade shorts?
Yeah, me grandma sorted that out for me.
What an absolute legend of a lady.
How you doing anyway?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. I'm here in paradise.
Love the shorts, honestly, as quality. Thank you, Dan, for finding that video. Really, really good to see. So yeah, look, mullets. I mean, yeah. Look, I mean, I've already seen here. So don't take any offence to this, George. When I'm just looking at the comments here, but Sam Oxborough, she's just put no, hate the mullet. So the question is, I'm seeing lots of hairdressers doing mullets on social. They're sharing mullets and they do look great. They're exciting haircuts for a hairdresser to get creative, Jordanna. My point is, we hairdressers are sort of saying they're back in fashion. Have you done a mullet on many clients?
No, but I mean, if you look at what a mullet is, it's technically a disconnected shape between short hair and long hair. So although it may not look like a mullet, there is a lot of invisible layers going on because people just love having that height at the crown, particularly for those kind of clients that don't really know how to blow dry their hair very well. So I do think it's a technical haircut that everyone should learn, but it's so transferable, the skills. So like there's so many different types of them. You can make them soft, quite aggressive. And I think I've always got time for a mullet, me.
What about you, George? I mean, you're wearing a mullet. What's it like in Rotherham? Are they going for the redneck, as somebody's put here, the Pat Sharp mullet?
Yeah, babe, I'm from Rotherham. We are redneck, so yeah. Not necessarily get loads of cuts like that. Probably do about 4. But I don't, you know what, like these creative haircuts, they can be taken to whatever extreme you want. I think whatever it's done, as long as it's done well, you know what I mean? I've not watched Tiger King and thought, oh my God, I've got to have that haircut. I've taken a bit of inspiration from Tiger King, and I think I'm going to get a mullet and I'm going to have it done really well. And I think that's the same as any haircut. And I think any haircut can be beautiful as long as you do it really well.
Yeah, no,
you know?
Absolutely. I mean, I just find that sometimes I call it hairdresser's hair. And over the years, we've seen it all the time. You go to, you know, and let's be honest, you see a beautiful Sassoon haircuts. And I get the reason behind it. It's all about getting the techniques right and then adapting it to a client's shape. But you know, are we seeing it with colours as well? You know, there's so much of this hairdresser's hair, but are we actually still just doing the very bog standard menu looks that?
No, do you know what? I disagree with that. I think. Do you know what? I think the majority of people that put the work out there, especially hairdressers, they're actually appealing to other hairdressers. I would like to champion a hairdresser that is actually appealing to the client, because I think it's a very difficult language to speak to your client. And if you look at my Instagram, even though I've got a large Instagram following, I speak to a hairdresser. So I'd like the hairdressers that champion the client, that are asking them to come forward, because I think actually what's happening, because we've got so many good photos and so much good social media, what's happening is the hairdresser is putting pictures out there, not for the client anymore, but for other hairdressers to be up their arse saying, yeah, I love it, I love it, I love it. And we've forgotten about the client, I think.
Really? Do you go with that, Jordanna?
Yeah.
Completely agree. I really do. But at the same time, there are people out there who started their Instagram account as more like a visual diary rather than appealing to clients. Because I would never want my clients to look at my Instagram. And so when I first started it, I was like, well, this is for me and a diary sort of thing rather than for clients. And then now I'm like, Jesus, I should have had one for clients, because hopefully I would have got a good following by now, and I wouldn't be in this situation, lockdown, no clients.
No. Well,
so it's a tough one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I'm just still looking at the mullets here. Charlotte Johnson, a mullet is like a short shag. I love it when it's on the right person. Georgia, you are on point. Lee, he said, loving the 90s feels at the minute. I'm going to block colour front if, I can't read what that says, if he, her, and mullet too, fuck. I don't swear very often, so it's so what about colours? We're all very good at portraying, we post the really exciting work, I always feel, as hairdressers, but have you got a kind of a menu of kind of colours? Do you still do lots of full highlights, girls? I mean, are they just back in the day now and nobody does them, or do we still do lots of foil highlights, Jordanna?
Yeah. I've got 3 full head of foils tomorrow, and I'll be posting them on my story, guys, because they're my bread and butter. I love.
So people still like foil highlights, George?
Of course.
100%. Do you know what? I had someone ring me last week and actually they said, do you do foil highlights? And I was like, yeah, of course we do. And that's a trap that I put myself into. It's one of the reasons why I rebranded. Because when we started out with Twisted, we were bright colour. And guess what? It got loads of attention on social media. But it pigeonholed us. And actually, the most staple, and you know what, natural hair's harder to do. Like, I get more enjoyment and more satisfaction out of picturing a good natural balayage or full head foils than I do a bright colour. The problem is it just gets no traction.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
You know?
Cool.
But in actual fact, when I do a balayage and it's freehand and it's mint and I've got that processed poured and I've got the finished products, I'm like, whoa, that's amazing. Bang it up, expect it to get 150 likes, and it gets about 20, and I'm like, fuck this. Shit.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know, it's so disgusting.
But actually, there's another topic there for another day, though, when we're now seeing all this airbrush balayage, and you're explaining that to a client. I mean, again, it's a language, isn't it, Jordanna? We've got to try and make sure hairdresser talk is relatable to your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. And I try to stay away from like a full set of highlights. I'll butter it up and call it all names under the sun so that it still feels like a kind of service that they won't get anywhere else. Because I always fear that if I call it a full set of highlights, then they feel like they might be able to go next door to get it for 50 quid cheaper. So I'll always say what I'll do is I'll do some highlights, some baby strands, some strand lights, and a couple of bits of balayage in there in between. And then they're like, yeah, okay, sounds complicated. Do whatever you want to do, because then I feel like they can't take the business elsewhere. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Look, there's a lot of love coming in for foiling here tonight, and foils are still rocking it out there. And I love this from Ryan. Do you agree with this? Like, he finds foiling very therapeutic and makes him feel relaxed. I'm just a weirdo, though.
I love it. I love foiling. There's this new comb you can get as well, actually, that you do a slice and then you put it in between this comb, and apparently it does you wheeze for you. But I've had to go at all my stylists for that, and I'm like, no, this is not skill. This is a comb. We are going to weave.
Right, look, guys, so we're going to move on, but I just want you all to think about this, because do you have your favourite haircuts? You know, the kind of haircuts that you always kind of, you know, they're your safe haircuts. You just got them. Well, in North Korea, did you know that you can wear one of 15 haircuts each? And I'm just going to show you this because I'm going to ask you all a question, right? If we had to have mandatory haircuts in the UK that we could only wear one of 10 hairstyles or colours, what would it be? And I'll ask you girls what your choice would be. But let's just see this from North Korea. Really good inspirational stuff.
I'm glad.
Sorry, I'll just bring us back up there. There's some classic looks there from North Korea. Kim Jong-un. I mean, what a flat top that man wears. So, yeah, come on. What would your hairstyles be? So let's just have a bit of fun here. So UK and Ireland, Australia, they just said, look, the people of your country have got to wear one of 10 hairstyles. What would it be? Jordanna, what would your hairstyle be that you're going to give to the people of the UK to wear?
I would probably go for Jennifer Aniston in Friends with, so it's like a one length with a bit of forward grad, because I think that does suit a lot of people, because you've got a couple of layers around the face. And I guess having it long means you can put it in a ponytail, you can get it off the face. I don't know, but that is so restrictive. Can you imagine living in a world like that?
Well, you've put it in there, the Jennifer Aniston one, the haircut then, all right? So what about you, George?
The purdy, the mullet, the bob.
Okay.
What's it?
What else have we got coming in there? So again, remember, I'm 20 seconds behind here, so I'm going to pick up, from Sarah. Hi, Sarah. She's going for the bob. Mine would be the bob. We love the bob, don't we? Inverted bob. I call it the school gates bob. The graduated
Karen
bobs,
bob.
yeah. Keep it really long. We love all that. Long hair. That's going to be. I'm going to go for the pixie haircut on a woman.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah,
Dom.
I do. I love a gorgeous short haircut on a woman.
I know that about you, Dom.
Yeah, there you go. Who was again? This is going back in the day, but who was the singer of Texas? What was her name? The Scottish, but she always had a very cool short haircut. Sarah, again, the purdy. Yeah, really good. So great. Keep them comments coming in. Have a think about it. Is there a colour that you would put into there? I mean, that's something to think about. So look, as always, we either have a bit of brekkie with Belle. But this week we've got something really, very grim actually. It's quite chilling, this one. So, hairdressing horror story with Georgia Belle. Here we go.
Yes.
So guys, today we're here to talk about something a little bit different, about a double murder that occurred almost 20 years ago at the Old London in Queensland, where hairdresser Claire Acox and her client Margaret Penny were found brutally murdered, lying in a pool of their own blood. And to this day, the murderer is still yet to be caught. Do 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 do. Back in May 1991, the two bodies of Claire Acox and Margaret Penny were found laying face down in puddles of their own blood within the Old London salon. The whole salon had been ransacked, but only $100 had gone missing, and Miss Acox and Miss Penny were found tied and bound to chairs with towels over their head. The weapons used were a knife, possibly a pair of scissors, and a tail comb. Gruesome. There was only one witness, well, one possible witness anyway, and that was Mr. Smith. He was then the mayor of Queensland, of the Old London town, and he possibly saw what he perhaps thinks might be the murderer scurrying across the road just after 3:45, and he had to stop his car quite quickly. He says to this day he still has nightmares about this incident. Claire's salon, the Old London, had been running for around 20 years, and within the town she was a very popular hairdresser. Now Miss Penny had come for her appointment on the 1st of May at 3:30. She was briefly seen leaving the salon to only get some knitting and bring it back into the salon. Now, my thoughts must be that the killer was sitting and waiting, and obviously Miss Penny has then walked in and the killer is attacking Acox, and that's just a classic case of wrong timing, sweetheart. The case soon goes cold because there is no evidence to link anybody to the murders of both Claire and Margaret Penny. However, the trial reopens again in 1994, where Margaret's husband, Robert Penny, is seen publicly going forward and asking for the killer to come forward. Again, nothing, and the case goes cold. It's then reopened for the third time in 2014. Again, Robert Penny is now becoming a suspect, and he's actually found guilty of the murder in March 2015. However, Robert dies of a heart attack while he is released on bail, so I guess justice will never ever be served for these two women.
A true story.
That
was a fantastic story, wasn't it, Jordanna?
It was so good. I literally want you to come and read me bedtime stories for Halloween now.
My kids are terrified to death, let me tell you.
Yeah, well, he didn't exactly look a hardcore murderer, though, I must say. But where did you get that story from, George?
I've just been researching like murders in hair salons because I really like. There's a girl out there called Bailey Sarandon, and basically she puts a makeup on and she tells these true crime stories. So it's something that I really want to do for the hair show. But that was my first one, so if it was pretty terrible, just go easy on me, guys, because like I'm trying. But I'm going to find more true crime stories and I'm going to read them out on a weekly basis. So let me know if you all like them.
Yeah, no, really, really good. And thank you, by the way. You've just come back to me on the singer from Texas. It was Charlene. Yeah, of course it was. Lead singer of Texas. And she was a hairdresser. Okay, so we're going to go into our next topic. And this one is, do you know what your clients want? And this is about in the world of COVID, the changing environment in our salon. Are we adapting to this change? So let's go into our next little topic. So, yeah, this one, Jordanna, this one's a little bit sort of geared to a changing environment. Are our clients expecting new changes to the way we're operating as a salon?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they necessarily want, but I know that what we need to do, and I think it has been quite difficult trying to get everyone on the same page because there are varying levels of anxiety and varying levels of people being quite OCD about things, and so people don't always react the same when you ask them to put a mask on or when you ask them to sanitize or if you can take a temperature check. So it's one of those things where you just got to do your best, really.
And I think it's changing here. And this was actually inspired by Hairdressers Journal, actually. I think they've got a point on there. They're coming up with different, tips to changing. And part of this is, how customers are now shopping and buying their products. And are we adapting to an online retail experience for our clients, George?
Do you know what? I think we've always had that. I think salons will agree. Like we've got sites like Look Fantastic, Feel Fantastic that always undercut us. I think it's just about teaching our clients about hair care and teaching them about aftercare. That's going to really make the difference. We've always got competitive sites. You've always got big brands as well going into high-end stores. You've got a number of brands that you can get at TK Maxx and Superdrug, Boots. So we're always in competition. I just think that now's the time, if ever. A lot of people tout for business, like different kinds of business to coming through the doors. But in actual fact, look at the client base in front of you and see how you can utilise and monetize that. And I think that now's a really good time to do that. I think clients are more prepared to listen to you because of the amount of time that they were forced from coming into your salon.
Are you actually quite big on online shopping for your salon, Jordanna, with Cabela? Do you sell your products online?
No, but I did meet a lady at Salon Smart who owns Neville's Hair and Beauty. She was telling me if you set up some kind of association or collaboration with Amazon, that if we do go into a second lockdown or even now, you can basically set up your own business on Amazon and sell Kerastase or whatever retail products you have in the salon directly to the consumer, and Amazon sorts it out for you just for a small fee. So I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called an Amazon Associate or something. So that's a really good way of maybe doing online retail, but otherwise we're still trying to push it in the salon. And the biggest thing for us is we literally just say we can't do the colour unless you buy the products because your hair will fall out. So one of the other things we've done actually is we've got this really, really zoomed in magnifying clip that goes on your phone, and it allows you to take really, really zoomed in high pixel pictures of hair strands. So you can use it for the scalp, or you can use it for the strand of hair. And if you take pictures of it on your phone, you can actually show them the before and after of the treatment, and you can literally see the cuticle layers roughed up versus the cuticle layer smoothed down. So we're starting to kind of give ourselves and our advice a bit of evidence and proof behind it, so that they're okay, I will buy that purple shampoo because it's better from the salon than it is from the pound shop. So yeah, anything like that. I think we're kind of at the end of our tethers. We're just getting them to buy retail. So that's why we came up with the camera idea.
It's a good idea.
It's just a classic thing though, isn't it? Why on earth would you go and spend a couple £100 on your colour to then go to Tesco, buy a branded shampoo at £3 and conditioner at £3 to look after it and expect the results to be the same. Like, you wouldn't buy a BMW and put it through a boil wash, would you?
Yeah, exactly. I have been a bit cheeky at the salon as well, where I only put like one product on display and I'll go, oh, that's the last one. And they always buy it. Instead of having like 6 of them on display, I'll go, oh gosh, that's the last one. And I say to my colleague, make sure you order some more, because they go like gold dust. And the clients will go, oh, well, I'll have it.
Jordanna, so people liking this say that Natasha, what is that lens called? She wants to know.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but I've basically got loads of different attachments off Amazon. And there were camera attachments for like magnifying your camera, and I got it from a Samsung, but you can get them from an iPhone as well. But there's no specific name for them. I think they're just called like zoomed in camera lens clip that clips onto the phone.
Yeah, and just something else that I picked up on the website, just moving away a little bit from the online shopping, but clients' behaviour in terms of coming into the shop and also working around the shift patterns, George, is early mornings and late nights. Have you changed the opening hours of your shop to meet this demand and also to have less people in the shop at the same time?
Yeah, we do that anyway. I mean, like, if people want early mornings on a weekend, my team will be in. I will work till whatever time. We don't do any more than 3 cuts and colours per day unless we work late. But that's not because of COVID, really. I mean, part of it was because of COVID, but it's because colour work is so different now. People aren't phoning up and saying, can I get a global application and a full head of highlights? They're giving me a picture of Khaleesi off Game of Thrones that's got whiter than white hair. And they've got box eye build-up and this, that, and the other. And I physically can't do her hair in less than 8 hours. Therefore, I can only do 3 clients a day because of the expectation that Pinterest, Instagram and social media present me. It's actually nothing to do with COVID-19. It's just to do with people want more for the money.
And that's fine for you though, George, but for a lot of people, they are having to change their opening hours because of a team that maybe they have to split to early morning. Jordanna, is this something you've had to do in your opening hours?
Well, what we did is we kept them exactly the same. We just got a couple more people onto the late shift, but we kept the opening hours the same, which is 9 a.m. till 8 p.m. And we have found that Saturdays have started to become our busiest day again, because that wasn't a busy day for the last year. It was more Fridays because people were working from home as well. But yeah, I just didn't want to open any earlier or any later because I think it's tough enough out there.
Okay, well, just let us know in the comments below, everybody, again, is there anything, that you've had to do really different to adapt to the changing environment that we have? Have clients got different expectations? We'd be keen to have. And again, if you've got any questions for the girls, do keep them coming in, and we'll keep bringing up your comments. So let's move into our next topic, which is topic 3, rethink, reskill, reboot. We're gonna just play you a video to this one, so let's go into this. Make sure we've got this set up. So rekey the chancellor. This might just raise a few eyebrows, so let's go into this.
If you're a professional musician, what is your message right now? If they can't earn enough money to live, is your message to them, you're going to have to get another job?
I think, as I've said, my simple message to everybody is we're trying to do everything we can to protect as many jobs as possible.
But they don't think you are. In that sector, they just don't think you are, Chancellor.
Look, it's a very sad time. 750,000 people have already lost their jobs. We know that, and that is likely to increase, and many people will. I can't pretend that everyone can do exactly the same job that they were doing at the beginning of this crisis, and that's why we've put a lot of our extra resource into trying to create new opportunities for people. So our Kickstart scheme, for example, for young people who are most at risk of becoming unemployed, all the way up to the age of 24, are going to benefit from a fully funded job placement.
But that's a different job, isn't it? That's you saying, go and get a different job.
That is fresh and new opportunity for people. That's exactly what we should be doing.
But we're a country that have created so many fabulous musicians and artists and actors, and you're effectively saying, look, I know it's hard, but maybe go and get another job.
I think probably you're not being quite right in that there is no work available for everyone at all. I mean,
For a
actually,
lot of
funny
them,
enough,
there isn't.
as in all walks of life, everyone's having to adapt. So I'm getting emails and seeing how theatre companies are adapting and putting on different types of performances. It is possible to do theatrical performances online as well, and for people to engage with them that way, and for new business models to emerge. Plenty of music lessons are still carrying on. The same thing happens certainly in my household and elsewhere. So, yes, can things happen in exactly the way that they did? No, but everyone is having to find ways to adapt and adjust to the new reality, and that's what we all have to do. And that's why we're allowing that to happen, but also providing new opportunity for people if that's the right vehicle for them.
It'd be fair to say some of you are not his greatest fan. Kim, the guy is a cock. Sorry. Poor old Ricky. I mean, look. The reason we brought this up is because obviously we're talking about the arts here, George. There's people in music, in theatre, and what he's saying is, look, if there's no work there for you, you're going to have to go out and retrain, and which is
incredibly offensive. That's what it is,
isn't it?
I'm not going to say what I said in the green room, but it's offensive. And do you know what? I think that creative people are quite entrepreneurial anyway. So if you are a comedian, you are a dancer, you want to put your work out there, well then take it online and charge people for tickets, just like what I did in lockdown. Like when we went into lockdown, we had no salon. I started selling tickets online for balayage classes, and it worked. And I think no one has any right to say that you cannot be a creative anymore. I think that's a load of bollocks. I'll say it again, my famous saying. I don't agree with it.
We need to get that printed on a mug for you.
We were just talking about
I think it's really offensive.
So Sean's just put, it's okay for him to say find another job, but when he's not walking that path, it feels different if it was him. Kelly's just put, I feel so sorry for people in the arts industry. It's so unfair. Do you know many people of your clients, Jordanna, that are in the arts?
I have a lot of actresses for some reason around Kensington area, and they are so creative, and they already juggle a couple of jobs because it's hard to start out in the arts, and they are fully aware of the risks they take of being financially insecure for the first few years of starting off with their career. But how dare someone else tell them what is worth their time and what isn't? And to be honest, at this moment in time, he should be shedding light on and positivity on coming out of this, rather than changing what you do for a living to get through it.
Go on, George.
Somebody else that has an advisor telling him what to say, that all day just crunches numbers and is just nothing creative, for you then to say, to have a picture of a ballerina and say rethink, regroup.
That's awful.
I tell you what, George, you just mentioned that. I'm just going to flag up this, so you can keep talking, but I just want that ballerina picture that you were talking about. I've got that here.
So insulting. What's he do for leisure? I bet he goes and sees a movie. I bet he goes and sees a play. I bet he goes to a comedy night.
And I bet he's got a Spotify account.
Yeah, I bet he has.
Definitely. But look, I mean, I'm going to try and flip this around a little bit. In terms of, look, they're saying that's what you're going to have to go and do. And there maybe are some people working in the arts who probably are thinking, you know what? I don't see how I'm going to get by here. So it's all very well us saying, well, look, that's offensive to people working in the arts. But if there is no work there, then sometimes you've got to just say, look, quite simply, I have to retrain.
That's totally true, Tom. And if I had to get a new job, I'd go to Tesco and I'd stack shelves, or I'd go to McDonald's. But in my spare time, I'd do a balayage class or a bright class online. I'd keep something that was a part of me going, because I wouldn't want to let that go, and that's the whole point.
But this is what I want to try and bring on is, as an industry, first look, for the last, certainly before COVID came along, as an industry, we were struggling to recruit. And is that still a problem in our industry, Jordanna?
Yeah, definitely. I would say not for maybe receptionists, because we're getting a hell of a lot of applications, but definitely still for hairdressers. There hasn't been enough closure to actually see an incline in hairdresser applications. And also, of course, we've always been struggling for assistant applications. And who in their right mind would want to be a hairdresser now when everyone's telling you that, you know, the economy is a bit buggered?
But hairdressing still is doing okay. I know it's difficult, and there's some of the bigger salons, and we're having to adapt. But you know, I'm listening to a lot of people, and they're telling me they're still doing all right. And you know, if that's the case, and we're still finding it difficult to bring people into the industry, surely here then you're creative, you work in the arts, and what George just said, you know, maybe go and work at Tesco's or something to keep the money tucking in, and maybe get yourself on a course. Could we pull in some of these people into our industry?
Do you know what, Dom? I think you've just identified an opportunity, and we should go to schools. We should do it now, if they let us in with a mask. We should be spreading the word. This is our opportunity to do it.
It is, and it's. But then my other thing about this is that you could have an actress. Let's just say an actress, and they're creative, and we're arts, and we're all in that creative field ourselves. Hairdressing could be a very good fit for some people that may be considered hairdressing, but they moved into another area. Could we pull some of these people in, George, into hairdressing? That's maybe somebody in their mid-30s, 40s who thinks, could I retrain?
Yeah.
But do we kick them out because they're older?
No, I think being a hairdresser is like being a chameleon anyway. I think there's different types of hairdressers, but I know whatever client I've got in front of me, I have to adapt, I have to change, and I think it's a very out there industry, and I think you can make it as professional or as out there or as crazy as you like. So I think that I wouldn't rule out somebody that was training to do drama or acting to be part of my business, because in actual fact, depending on the brand that you base your business on, somebody out there and flamboyant can be actually very good or very negative. It just depends on what your brand is, really.
Yeah, well, I don't. Sometimes I've actually had people getting in touch with me because of the podcast, and they've said, "Look, you know, we've been trying to get sort of a job in a salon, but because they're older and they want to come into hairdressing at a later point in their life, but they're getting told, look, we can't take you on." Are we as an industry guilty of not taking on older people because they're going to cost too much money because of the people's wage, Jordanna?
Probably as an industry, yes, because not everyone has got that extra to support their wage. But personally, no, I actually prefer people who join us at a more mature age because they kind of know what they want and they have quite a good established work ethic. That's not to say that young people don't, but I find it a little bit easier to get them through the training years, to be honest.
And also, as an industry, can I just say we're very guilty of taking on people that look the part. When in actual fact, it's always we're guilty of style over substance, and really we should really start to look at the substance of people in front of us, whether they're, you know, of an age that costs more money or below that age, and actually see what they've got to offer from the inside as opposed to looking right on our salon floor. That's such a big downfall of everyone within our industry.
So when you say that we're guilty of this, George, you're almost saying that if your image doesn't meet the kind of look of a hairdresser or what your clients, that maybe they're just not given that opportunity.
Yeah, I think so, and I think we're guilty without even realising that we do that.
Definitely.
I've been guilty myself of doing that. I've employed somebody because they've looked really cool, and then they've been a bit shy.
I think that's really. I appreciate you saying that, actually, George. I think that's common. You agree with that as well, Jordanna?
Yeah, because I think when you take on assistants at such a young age, you don't even consider what they look like because you know that they're so young that you can't. I don't know. It just feels like that's not a factor. But when you are interviewing stylists, the first thing you do when you meet them is look at their hair and look at like their presentation, and you're looking for that professionalism. So that is definitely a form of discrimination. Yeah, like you said, and I think that needs to be abolished as well, because we're all creatives. We all should look different. We shouldn't all look the same and all tarted up.
So if you had somebody come to you, George, that was maybe in their 50s, and they said, look, you know, I want to go for hairdressing. I've been in the arts and it's just not happening. Would you be open to that?
I've actually got someone coming to me that's in their 60s.
That's
That's
fantastic.
going to be doing that. So that's actually
Brilliant.
great timing. I'm not the criminal tonight, Dom. Woo! Yeah. No, she's in her 60s. She's one of my clients. She's an absolute belter. She's just a fantastic client. And do you know what? She started doing hairdressing. She did hairdressing for about 5 years, but she wants to get back into it. Yeah. And do you know what? If I can get this bird back into hairdressing at 60, she's going to be a cracking hairdresser, because she's got the balance and she's just going to be a great, like, all-round hairdresser. So yeah, I've said, yeah,
so we need to reach out and pull in these sort of Paul. And I know last week we had obviously Carolina join us as our co-host on the show, and I believe she set up a scheme to actually train older people into hairdressing, and I think that's really cool, Jordanna.
Yeah, I love that. I luckily have got 6 people that joined our team last year because their salon closed down, and they're all ex-Sassoon, and they came as a team and they've been working together for 30 years plus, and they're all above 60, and they brought such an amazing vibe to the salon, a vibe that we really were missing because our team is so young that we kind of get lost in, you know, our friendships sometimes. And what they brought to the salon was this kind of era of professionalism from Sassoon era that made you really proud to be a hairdresser. And it made you think, when I'm 68, or some of them were actually 72, I want to be loving it the way they do, and standing up straight and greeting my client like this is my calling. And it was so nice to see the kind of the path that it can take you on, rather than thinking I'm 35 and I've got sciatica.
Can I share with you all something tonight that, and I won't reveal her age because she'd absolutely slaughter me, but my mum, who's watching this show, is still doing hair.
Oh,
still doing hair.
She's Mama Dom.
It's amazing. Honestly, and do you know what, Dom, as well?
And she looks amazing still as well. She don't rock up and look like some little old dear walking in. She's still rocking it. So I think that's absolutely fantastic. Age really shouldn't ever come into it.
I want to be like that. I want to be kind to the day I die.
Yeah, well, honestly.
Yeah, I'm really sad.
Well, I think it keeps you healthy. I've got to be honest. I don't know about you.
The people. God, I just love chatting to people.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's something better about older. I don't say better. I'm just like sort of on the fence here. I've had some really bad experiences with some of the younger people because they just can't physically take the banter or the pace or the work ethic sometimes, and I find it really hard. Both my assistants, one of them's 26, one of them's 28, and one of them's 24. And I'd rather pay more to have that level of understanding. And
I think that's a tricky one there, George, actually, because I think a lot of younger hairdressers would probably disagree. You know, I think it's a real cross mixture. I think there's so much good and bad, and some really adapt to the banter, and some have got an incredible work ethic and really passionate about the industry. And I just think it has a place. And for me personally, I think there's an opportunity to bring in new people into our industry right now. And, you know, whether you're young or old, it's about, have you just got that there? Have you got those people skills and empathy? And, you know, you don't need to be a technical, superb at it straight away, do you, Jordanna? It's just, you know, go for it and being open to it.
There's so many sides to hairdressing. We discussed that so many times. Counsellor, advisor, friend, creative. So I think there's a lot of other professions that have transferable skills in a way. And yeah, let's see this as an opportunity. And I saw a couple of comments earlier, guys, and I think everyone's saying that schools aren't going to allow us in. But I've actually already been to 3 schools before COVID. I went to 3 schools and they let me do like a 2-hour talk on hairdressing, and I played them videos and we did like workshops, and it was wicked. I got a couple of assistants come in for the day on a Saturday just to see what it's like in salon. So they are, I think, opening the doors to us because they have to, and they know that, you know, the creative arts they can't ignore. So don't let it, you know, deter you. Have a chat with the local school.
Cool. Well, look, we're coming to the end, guys. It's I'm just great. I just want to have a look over the comments, guys, if you don't mind. Just going to flag up a few just to bring us towards the end, because there's so many good things. So where do we start? Anything that's caught your eye at all, ladies? Yeah. So that one you were just talking about, Jordan, that came from Natasha. Schools don't support creative industries. Only going to university. I got told by. Yeah, that's disappointing, isn't it? I think it does still have that dropout. I'm going back some time in these comments here. I've got a client who is high-level person at Topshop asking me if I could train her. I think all business. Yeah, that's great, isn't it? What else have we got? Caroline, I have a 30-year-old plus in my class at college. Colette, she trained as a hairdresser at 40. Did you two come in at school age?
No, I started at 22.
Right. And Jordanna?
I was after university, 21.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So again, it's some regard that. What's Kelly got here? She's put, I think mature trainees really want the job, worth the extra money to keep them. Do you think people are going to value their jobs more as well at the moment, where sometimes it was very easy to just leave and go somewhere else?
I don't know. I think if anything, lockdown's given the, I've said this before, like before lockdown, things were quite sour between me and my team. And actually, after having that time off and reflecting, we're the strongest we've ever been. And I think, if anything, I don't think it's the fact of redundancy and sort of the economy crashing. I think it's just sometimes just taking a break from each other and realising what you've got.
Yeah.
It's a great here.
Yeah.
It wasn't about, this is from Ryan actually. He's not so much on the styles. What's he put here? How many of you still do perms and weekly blow dries? I like you putting that, Ryan. I still do a handful of my old ladies and they make my week. Love them.
Aww.
It's never, sometimes I think actually in hairdressing it's not very cool to admit that you do older ladies, but actually they're so loyal, older clients. I find they're past being having to go to the faddy places because the next big thing's just opened up. I think they're saying really there in a more grown-up audience, and I don't think you can rule them out, and they're actually more affluent than younger clients. I'm telling you that now. Certainly down in our neck of the woods, I find affluent younger people don't have the money like older clients. Is there another topic there for another day? But
yeah, that's very true. That.
Yeah, I just think that there's good. But look, there's some absolute great comments here. Again, Jordanna, we love to get these comments coming in, don't we, from everybody and getting them part of this show.
Do. Thank you so much for engaging with us, guys, because you guys make the show.
Yeah, and George, you were just saying this, and sometimes we could get so hooked up on viewing numbers, how many people are viewing the show. But you said at the start, actually, what's so important is actually the engagement to this.
Yeah, and we get such amazing engagement from you guys, and actually, your ideas, your, taking part of this, it really gives us ideas for, to make this show better for you all. And it's the highlight of my Monday, so thank you, Dom, and thank you, Jordanna.
And actually, that's what I am going to say. I don't think there's any other live in hairdressing right now that gets as much engagement as this show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've checked them out, and I think there's some brilliant Simon Townley, I know, is I'm such a fan and good friend of Simon of the socials and his shows as well. But this, I think this is pulling in your comments each week and seeing you turn up. I just think it's fantastic, and like what George says, and I'm probably going to speak for Jordanna here, and we love bringing these shows, and we all look forward to it every week, and just seeing you guys all come along here. And sorry, my hay fever. I'm still getting hay fever at this time of year, believe it or not.
It's the winner.
I am honestly, I am Mr. Hay Fever. It absolutely does my head in. I try to think. There's Nergish. Hey, Nergish, my podcast guest of today. First show for me. Fantastic topics, and she's been adapting social media over the time. But look, I mean, we are going to be doing, next week is going to be episode 10. Jordanna, George, that's right. Episode 10 of Series 2. That means we've then done 20 episodes. So how this is now working is that we are doing these in series. So next week will be our last show for 3 weeks. So we're going to have a 3-week break. We're going to got some new ideas, and I will just say here that some of you have been in touch with me about getting involved in the show. I haven't replied to you yet because we're going to be working out that. So we're going to be back. So next week we are going to be bringing you an M3-week break. So love it, Jordanna. What's going on for you as we say goodbye to you tonight?
Let's see. I've got a shoot on Friday. I've got 3 full set of highlights tomorrow. So wish me luck, guys.
Power to
I hope you all have a very busy week, and I wish you all the best. See you Monday.
See you later, Jordanna. And what about for you, George?
No, I've got a shoot happening on the 18th. That's with our producer Dan, and then we have got a Halloween themed week in terms of we're getting a projector and we are playing some belters throughout the salon. So we've got Scream, Shaun of the Dead, Hocus Pocus. You basically book your colour and cut slot, you get a film, you get some popcorn, you get some bants. Happy days.
Happy days indeed. Well, look, great to see you, George, and look forward to seeing you again next Monday.
See you next Monday.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. So there we have it. End of episode number 9, series 2. It's been absolutely brilliant. Loved it again tonight. It's been really good conversations, engaging. If you want to make sure that you never miss any of these shows, then we put them into the Facebook page, which is facebook.com/howtocutIt. There every Monday. And if you've got things that you want to bring to the show, then yeah, please get in touch with us. We love to hear it. And I just want to say thank you all for being part of the show. You really are appreciated. And go and check out my latest podcast with Nergish, which is all around the Fab Service stars, which is great. I think it's trying to create the new Michelin star for the hair industry. Really good conversation there. So that is it. Thank you all for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you all again next Monday without fail. So until then, peace, love and smiles all the way. Goodbye.